everyone, Matt Morris, leadwithmatt.com. Today we're going to talk about forging a strong character. We're going to talk about how sometimes having a strong character can actually hurt your reputation. So we'll do that as you hop on. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Give me your city, your country. Let me know if you're watching this in the comments, if you're watching it live or on the replay. If you are seeing me for the first time on a live, drop me a 1 in the comments so we can welcome you. And if you do share this with some others, let me know you shared it so we can give you a shout out. So I actually going through some training myself, always growing, always learning. As I mentioned the other day in one of my lives, I focus on an hour of personal development a day, input. And so before I head out here in a little bit, I've been doing a little work on me. And one of the things that I was going through was just a discussion on character, and it reminded me of some things that I haven't really been focused on. So I thought I'd hop in here and talk with you guys, because every time I train on something, I learn it more myself, and it's a good reminder. It actually gets me to feel guilty if I'm training you, telling you to do something, and I'm not doing it myself. So using that guilt as leverage. So here's the thing. What I did years ago is, I believe it was a Tony Robbins event, and then I read Ben Franklin's biography, and Ben Franklin had basically 12 different character traits that he focused on. And every week he would basically write out he would focus on that one character trait. And at the end of every day, he'd look back and say, how did I live up to living this character trait? And, if you look at character, you have your reputation and you have your character. What is your reputation? Your reputation is what other people think about you. And what your character is really who you are. And your character is kind of the sum total of your personality traits, right? And a character, if you want to have a good character, what does it mean to have a good character? Well, if you have a good character, it means you consistently do the things that you know you should do. And you consistently don't do the things you know you shouldn't do. Okay, so that's a good character. What's a bad character? A bad character is if you're doing the things consistently that you know you shouldn't be doing, and you're not doing the things that you should be doing. So that would be a good character versus a bad character. And so we all have things that we know we should be doing, right? And it's going to be different for everyone. One of the things that is very important for me is my health and fitness. I believe that if I'm not healthy and fit, I can't deliver effectively in the other areas of life. So, fitness is an important value for me. So you can look at your character as a sum total of the values that you live by. Sum total of the values that you live by is, you could say that is a good representation of your character. So what are some character traits? Well, honesty, integrity, reliability. One of mine has been determination. I'm always going to find a way to succeed. I'm always going to find a way through. That's been one certainly in business, not always necessarily on the personal side. So other things like compassion. Now, I have a very aggressive A-type personality. I'm a Marine, right? And coming out of boot camp, compassion is not a value that is taught in the Marine Corps. In fact, it's almost the opposite. I remember mail call, and they taught us to be tough. And I went in with the mindset saying, man, I have got to be tough, right? Because it's hard to get through boot camp, and they play mind games with you. So I've got to be tough. And I almost got to the point where, in fact, not almost, I was completely uncompassionate. And I remember mail call one day. And some days we get mail, some days we don't get mail, and we're all there, we're waiting for our mail. Everyone's hoping they get mail. And it had been 2 or 3 days, and there was one of the recruits there. He didn't get any mail, and he started crying and putting his head down, crying. And I was sitting right next to him. And I'll tell you how bad I was. I looked over at him and I said, you need to gut up. Incredibly uncompassionate. Now, I'm not nearly that bad anymore, but I realize compassion is something that I haven't really focused on. And I probably should focus on, not probably, I definitely should focus more on compassion. And when I've done value exercises over the years, I see compassion or empathy and I just kind of overlook it. Why? Because I've been trained to be tough, right? Now, my mother, she trained me to be tough, but she was very compassionate towards me. She was very empathetic towards me. And I feel like I am with my children, but I'm not to the general public. I'm not to a lot of other people in my life, right? So what else? Passion. Can you really get passionate about the things that you're doing? Self-discipline. Is that, self-discipline, is that where you're gonna do the things even when it's tough to do them? Consistency. Are you consistent in taking the actions that you know you should be taking? So, and we could go on and on and on. In fact, on my website, I've got a whole training I did on values, and I talk about how to establish some strong values, right? And so how do you forge a strong character? Well, obviously you need to do the things that you should be doing based on these values that you have for yourself. But in many cases, we've never actually defined what those values are. And so my coaching to you is take the time to actually analyze what values you want to aspire to live by. Do you want to aspire to being in integrity? Now, integrity is being whole. It's doing the things that you say you're going to do. It's being the same person when other people are not watching, you're the same person. So wholeness would be what I would call integrity. Honesty, and I'll tell you, this is one, like I've always considered myself to be a very honest person. I've been in integrity, but I realized this not that long ago. It was a little while ago. I realized that I didn't tell lies necessarily, but I wasn't completely honest. And here's what I mean by this, is if someone would say, hey, do you want to, I'll make something up, go to the movies with me? And I didn't want to go to the movies, I would not tell the person I didn't want to go to the movies because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. And so I would make up an excuse, basically lie, so I didn't hurt the person's feelings. And I realized I was doing this with a particular person in my life, and they would ask me a question and I would not want to hurt their feelings. And so I would avoid the question, or I would tell a half truth, or I would basically tell a white lie so I could preserve their feelings. And I realized that I was having a bad character because I was unwilling to say exactly what was on my mind. Now, maybe some of you can relate to this. You're not a dishonest person, but when it comes to hurting someone else's feelings, you're willing to sacrifice your character a little bit to preserve their feelings. Now, the question is, does that really serve them? No, it doesn't really serve them. It doesn't really serve your relationship, because you've got a relationship that's based on a white lie. It's not very authentic. It's not very true. So I started adapting. I started changing. And it was hard at first to say things that were very true for me that I didn't want to say. But you know what ended up happening is I slept better at night. I felt better about myself because I was doing something that was building my character, but actually hurting my reputation. So my reputation, what they thought about me, I felt like that was gonna hurt their reputation, but it actually built my character. And I believe, my belief is that if you say what's very true, even though it may hurt someone else, even though it may not be socially acceptable or politically acceptable, they'll actually respect you more if you're willing to say the thing that would actually rock the boat a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to give you a strategy. This is something that I applied many years ago, and it's something that I let lapse that I'm reapplying. And that is not only to have the list of values, the list of character traits to live by, but focus on them. If you've seen my videos and I talk about goal setting, one of the things that will help you accomplish your goal is if you get obsessively focused on your goal. If you look at your goal every single day, you're way more likely to hit your goal because it's in front of you. It's a constant reminder. And so Ben Franklin, It was something that he looked at on a daily basis. He focused every day on one particular character trait. And obviously that allows you to get more better with the character trait, right? So here's what I'm doing is reestablishing my values and looking at them every day. If you look at them every day and at the end of the day you review it, and what I did is actually put it on my computer. I got my old computer here. This is not the one actually it is. You can still see the tape marks. So I actually put a little thing on my computer right here. I taped a piece of paper that had the list of values. And so I'm on my computer a decent amount, so I'm always looking at my character traits. I'm always looking at the values that will make me have a better character. So that's my tip for you, is write them down, put them somewhere where you're gonna look at them on a regular basis. And my friends, you will have a stronger character. You will live up to your values if you will focus on them. Thanks again for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you got out of this. Let me know if you got an idea of what you're going to implement. Let me know in the comments below. I always go through and read all the comments. If you feel like sharing this, let me know you shared it in the comments so I can give you a shout out. And if you would like some advanced training on leadership specific to direct selling, hop over to leadwithmatt.com, put your name and email address in, and you'll get a free training there that I put together for you. Thanks so much. Go make life an adventure.